May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. You are trading with RT Money. Listen, we're going to go over in this video US dollar index, S&P, NASDAQ, a little bit of the Dow, the DAX or German 40, crude oil, Brent oil, and gold and silver. In the next video, the one that comes with this part 2, we're going to go over the euro, the pound, the Aussie dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. All right, so look, we understand how the news came in on Friday, NFP, and we see how the market reacted, and the result was a weakening of the U.S. dollar. All right, it seems that it triggered a risk on environment, which is fine either way with me, right? With any trader, it would be fine either way. But people put some money into the markets, right? So the first market we're going to analyze is the U.S. dollar. Is it going to continue to be weak? I think it will. I am leaning more towards that. It's like a bearish neutral. Let me show you. We're looking at the weekly time frame, right? And you see this last week's candle, how strong it is, how very bearish it is, right? But you also have to notice what was that? Why? Okay. What you also have to notice is that there is a bullish fair value gap right here, and price ran right into it and closed just below it. Now, there's a couple of things that could happen here. All right. Price could very well do a sharp turn and head right back up. If price does that kind of maneuver, all right, uh, then we're probably going to see the continued strengthening of the U.S. dollar, because that's what it's been doing: higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low. This isn't a higher low yet until it breaks that high. So what we have here is a possible swing failure, all right, and that's a very bearish indication in my estimation. We won't get that confirmed until we break this low. We break that low, then we know uh, there's a good chance that price we're going to see lower prices, and this becomes this swing low here becomes the next target. All right, let's go to the daily. On the daily, what do we see? All right, a all right. Now there is a price the way Friday closed. We took that low. All right, we came below this swing low, and this is the weekly um, fair value gap, bullish fair value gap that I was just showing you. All right. So you can see how price closed past it. We're inside of this bullish order block. I'm thinking because that bullish order block is inside of this this fair value gap, there is a chance, there is potential for price to do a sharp turn and head into this bearish fair value gap here, which is intersected by the swing low. All right, I like it when it swing. It kind of there's a confluence when you see the intersection of the swing low going across an untapped fair value gap, bullish or bearish. So if price does come back in here, I'm going to see I'm very interested to see how price reacts once it hits here. All right, but right now it looks bearish, and because it looks bearish, and if we use next candle theory, right, we should see another bearish candle that should come towards the low here, and I think we're heading towards the middle of this very large wick. Okay, so we'll see how things go. We're going to have to watch the markets because I'm looking for. You see how we have the beginnings of a fair value gap, a bearish fair value gap. If price does come in and we print out a candle like so, and it completes that fair value gap, then I'm looking for price to continue down. You understand? It's that simple. All right. If we see the sharp turn, and we trade through the high of Friday's candle, then I'm looking things will be bullish, at least for the near term, until it reaches up to this fair value gap, and we'll see how price reacts to that. All right, that's where I'm at. I'm leaning more towards bearish bullish, but I'd like to see what the candle looks like on Monday's close. Do you understand? I hope you do. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat. Leave it in the comment section down there. All right, so we're going to the next one, which would be the Euro USD. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to the S&P. All right, it's very simple. I'm going to keep it on the daily because you can see how bullish it is. All right, price took out this swing high, the old highs here, 1, 2 relative equal highs, and continued higher from there, leaving behind these bullish fair value gaps. All right. Should price uh, 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 have a small candle, maybe a doji, and then come back into the fair value gap on Tuesday, I'm looking for this fair value gap to hold. If it doesn't, I'm definitely going to be looking for the lower one to hold. All right, that's going to be a tall order for a price to, just jump through two of them. All right, that's just a tall order. And the other thing is, this is the structure you look for in place that supports higher pricing. So I see uh, a, a fair value gap causing the formation of another fair value gap on top of it. This is a good indication of order flow, and that we just need to go with the flow. Now, I'm looking for a pullback after we take out a swing high. You got to expect some kind of pullback of some kind. All right, and it could very well continue higher and make another bullish fair value gap. But we're going to watch to see how price uh, plays out on Monday. Again, I'm looking for higher prices, and I'm expecting a pullback of some kind, and then we could have a very nice, uh, take a buy. We're looking for buys, and we can have a very nice setup once we hit our POI. Okay, the same deal for the Nasdaq, almost identical. All right, you see price took out the swing high, left behind two very nice bullish fair value gaps. We're going to see what the Monday print of the candle is, and we may see price come back, and then we can definitely take price higher from these bullish fair value gaps. That does not look like an arrow. I don't know what I'm drawing here, but I'm looking for something like this. Okay. I don't know why I can't make a trading. You got to do something. You got to do something about that anyway. All right, so that's those two, and the crazy sister, the Dow. The Dow doesn't look like much. Look at this. Look at this price action. Look at this price action. Look how spotty it is, and look how it just ranged. All right, nothing like the Nasdaq, nothing like the S&P. But I will tell you this: if you go to the weekly, what you can see is price made a bearish fair value gap here on the weekly. The one that you see right now is uh, a daily fair value gap. But you can see there was one there for the weekly as well. Price traded into it, and we didn't get you. I just need you to notice this. Look how price closed here and opened here. Look at this gap. Price came down and closed that gap, right? And then closed below, within the range of this candle. All right. And then the next day we gapped up a little bit, gapped up, right? Price pushed down and then up and then back here. All right. So this fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap is holding so far. But I, I'm, come on, what is that? Oh, all right. I'm expecting lower prices from here because this impulsive move followed by this looks very corrective. So I'm looking for prices to go lower. We may see a sweep of this high, all right, here, and then lower prices after that, because these lows are up to this gap is a low resistance liquidity run, and I think that the draw on liquidity would be very strong here. All right, so we'll look. If you trade the Dow, and I do not, I would be looking for lower prices, honestly. But we may get this sweep first, and then the lower prices. All right. Uh, let's see. German 40 or the DAX. What are we looking at here? You can see how price became very bearish here, right? Made a big old order block. We have this corrective structure here, all right? Price comes up to, but does not trade through the swing high, creating relative equal highs, all right? With a big old rejection wick there, all right? Maybe price on Monday um, uh, goes halfway into this long wick, because you see that a lot, comes down to this bullish fair value gap that it left behind, and then continues higher to take out the draw on liquidity. This is my draw on liquidity, by the way. So that's the scenario I'm looking at. We're making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher a potential higher low. And if price continues higher, it takes out these highs, then we'll have another higher high. But the DAX will follow the S&P and the NASDAQ. So we'll see how it goes. I'm thinking all of them will be bullish, because I have a bearish lean on the US dollar. All right. If we go to the crude oil, you can see this is very simple. All right. I want to show you something really quick. You see this thing? This is what I've been showing you for the last couple of weeks, and that is a this breaker. It's a bearish breaker. All right. Here's the deal. Look at it very closely, because we're going to show you something on UK oil, which is correlated, positively correlated with the WTI crude. All right. That's the UK oil versus along with the US dollar. I mean the US oil. US oil. All right. What I was thinking was that price would come back, would return to the breaker, find its support, and continue higher up to these highs. All right, that's my scenario. All right, do I want to take what I suggest you take shorts? I think shorts between here and there are perfectly fine to take, because there's a lot of room for profit. All right, but you see this line? It never was touched here. It was never touched there. The top of the breaker was never touched here. But if you look, this is WTI crude. If you look on Brent, you'll see the same situation here, right? But it was touched here. It was tapped. Price came back to it and tapped and came up. So it makes you think it's less likely that price will return to it just to go higher. It makes me think that way anyway. All right. We see no bullish fair value gaps in that in this formation of candlesticks. All right. If we go back to crude oil, it's the same situation. There is no bullish fair value gaps going up here. That's strong to me. Now, if price does come back, it's got to come through here. All right. The tops of these bearish candles. All right. Uh, Price comes down and it finds support here. Very well, it could very well continue higher. All right. We already continued higher from this small, very bullish fair value gap here. All right. Only on US oil. All right. With the UK oil, again, it hit the top of the bullish breaker. So You know, I just don't know if price is going to make it back all the way down here. I'm looking here. All right, price comes through here, then I'll be expecting price to come here. And if it does come here, I'm waiting for it to find its support, and then we continue to higher prices. I'm thinking the exact same way on the on Brent oil. If price does make it down here, price does make it back here, then I'm looking for uh, higher prices to come soon enough right after. Now, I want to point out something. In Brent, you see this bearish fair value gap here? Price ran into that fair value gap, reacted to it, and then traded through it. I think there's a good case to make, and I don't make this case all the time to let you know. I'm not a, what do you call it, inversion fair value gap guy, but you can see how price respected this fair value gap. Boom, boom, came traded through it, tapped it on the back end to the pip, and then looks like it's trying to rise higher. It took out the swing high. I'm looking for price to revisit a, fair value gap or an order block. And we'll find an order block right down here, just like I was pointing out, and we'll see if it finds its footing. If it finds its footing there, and it gives a signature, one of its signatures, maybe we'll take longs from there. But I would prefer to take the longs from the breaker down here. All right. Next is gold. Gold is a good one. All right. This one's pretty simple. All right. We can see that there is a bearish fair value gap above, and what price has done, 2 bullish days, Thursday and Friday with NFP and all, almost reaching for this swing high. The swing high is right below this bearish fair value gap. Should we be trading through that swing low? I don't know, but what you want to watch is on Monday, are we going to form another fair value gap? Well, the groundwork is there. We got one side, we got 2 candles already. The third one should not be reaching all the way back down here. If it does, that negates the whole situation, or whole bullish situation. Now start to think bearish if price reaches all the way back here. All right, it'll invalidate bullish scenarios in my opinion. All right, I do not want to take. I'm not in a rush to take buys into this bearish fair value gap, but this is nothing but buys, and there's nothing bearish about it. So we want to see from here price maybe wicking back a little bit, to create the third candle for the bullish fair value gap, and then we can take buys from that fair value gap once price takes out this swing high and retraces back to the fair value gap. Then we could take buys and continue higher from there. I'll feel a lot better about taking a buy from there, and feel more confident that it'll probably take out the bearish fair value gap. All right. And one more, we go to silver. Silver, I want you to see this. You see this, the Fibonacci retracement tool I got open? I want you to pay attention to is, you didn't write. Why you didn't do that? All right, we got a higher high, higher low, higher high. We have a bullish breaker structure. We see this corrective structure there as price is pulling back after breaking structure to the high side, and then we see this beautiful follow through. All right, we've created a bullish fair value gap in that impulsive move up. Where did we make it at? 618. This is an OTE, and I like the fact that it's got a lot of momentum going up and everything. What you want to watch for next week is price to form another fair value gap here. All right, and if price takes this out and pulls back, we're waiting for price to pull back to that fair value gap, and then continue to make higher prices. Thank you for watching my video. I'm going to put a link for the next video on your screen, or I'll leave it in the comment section. and may profits be upon you. Trade safely next week. See you in the next video.